No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into a live edition of Bronco Nation News Live on a Thursday. Got some Mountain West hoops to talk about, a couple of games last night. Looking ahead a little over 48 hours away now from Saturday when Boise State hosts Utah State. We're going to talk some football as well. Chris Marshall is officially a Boise State Bronco, the latest 5-star prospect. I've done a little research, talked to some people, have a little background on his situation, and Boise State feeling like it's worth taking a little bit of a risk on him to see what can happen. Also, speaking of football, Stacy Collins, first official meeting with the media since his return will be this afternoon. So we'll be down at Boise State talking to Leon Rice today and talking to Stacy Collins today. So a full day of interviews, and those will be posted to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. So make sure you are following Bronco Nation News on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. And the big one we're trying to push is YouTube. I think we're about 10 away from 4,400. So we've been a little stagnant lately. If you're able to help us out, tell your friends. Make sure, I know you watch the shows, make sure you're actually a subscriber. So there's a little bottom at the bottom of the screen, I think on this side, that says subscribe. It's pretty easy to log in with your Google account, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Then you'll find our broadcast easier, and you can also turn on notifications so you know anytime that we go live when we have a broadcast. So we would highly ask you to please go ahead and knock that out now and subscribe on YouTube, like the broadcast, help us pop up a little higher in the standings and things like that. Also, while I'm asking you for stuff before we dive into the show, quick reminder, we'd love to have you subscribe. $50 for a full year at BroncoNationNews.com. BNN 50 deal is the promo code. And here in a couple weeks, we're going to be giving away a private jet trip for two to the game in San Diego at the end of the regular season. You just got to be a yearly subscriber. If you renewed and you're here, you've been with us since day one, you're automatically in. We really, truly appreciate you. If you're on the $50 promo, you're in. And if you're not in yet, you still have time. We'll be giving away some more items tomorrow. I don't know what our big item is, so I got to check on that before I broadcast. But tomorrow on the show, maybe Saturday on the pregame show, we will give away some more gift cards, some gifts, some free stuff. You just got to be a yearly subscriber, and we're offering that first year for $50. We're kind of like Kohl's, always got a sale going here at the beginning, and so the first year is $50. BNN 50 deal is the promo code. We'd love to have you jump in. You get exclusive content like last night. The Boise State women had a tough one against UNLV, but Bronco Nation News was there, and there's a full story online right now on the Boise State women, Boise State men, football, other sports as well. So we got you covered, and, humbly, we think it's maybe a little bit cocky, however you want to phrase it. We think it's the best out there, but we're pretty confident that over the course of the year, you're going to see that we provide the best and most comprehensive coverage of all sports at Boise State, not just football and men's basketball. And again, $50 BNN 50 deal gets you all of our coverage for the year and also gets you in some cool drawings and giveaways like we're doing tomorrow. And another quick shout out, if you're going to Vegas for the conference tournament, we'd love to see you at the BNN KTIK pool party. You just got to send an email to RSVP to Rains at Bronco Nation News. Even if you're staying at Circa, you can get in for free, but we'd like you to RSVP so we can kind of have an idea of how many people are coming and how many subscribers are coming, because I promised you guys, if you're a subscriber, I'm going to have some appetizers and some drinks and stuff taken care of for you. If you're not staying at Circa or the D, there are two properties there. Typically, it's like $40 or $50 cover charge, and it's free if you RSVP to Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. So get that done during the show or right after the show. Let us know if you're coming. If you're on the fence, Mountain West basketball, this seems like the year the conference tournament's going to be can't miss, and this is the perfect year to come down to Las Vegas. We have a 15% off link for Circa or the D. If you want to stay at Circa, stay at the D, 15% off. If you want to stay somewhere else, that's great, but make plans on Friday, semifinal Friday. The first semifinals not till like 6 o'clock that night. Hang out all day with us. KTIK, Johnny and Prater will be doing their show out there from the cabana. We'll be having fun all day and getting ready for the semifinals of the Mountain West tournament. So just a little heads up, Thursdays are days that we do not have a co-host. So as of now, you are stuck with just me. So we will take plenty of your comments, plenty of your thoughts. You guys can essentially be co-hosts with me today, and we'll work through this and have some fun. So definitely need some audience participation on a Thursday. We'd love to get your comments, your thoughts, and on a variety of topics, and we'll have some fun and just kind of see where it goes and see how long it goes here on Bronco Nation News. Let's start out with Chris Marshall, 5-star prospect, put up insane numbers in high school. He in Missouri City, Texas, down there. He goes as one of the top 25 players in the class. I believe number 24 overall. I believe from 247 Sports. 5-star prospect, goes to Texas A&M. Has a couple of issues. Ends up leaving the team. Goes to Ole Miss, and before he even plays a game there, gets dismissed from the team for a violation of team rules. And goes to junior college, Kilgore Junior College, for a year and gets his associate's degree, and now was back on the market, and Boise State decided it was worth the risk. And I think it's a very intriguing prospect, addition to the team. Clearly the talent is there. I mean, he's a 5-star prospect, and I'm told that he's a game-changing type player. If he's got everything else going on. And, there obviously are some off the field issues that he is dealing with. But I will just say from some folks that I've talked to, the locker room cancer and all this stuff that I've heard from folks is not necessarily the case. It's hard when the other school just says dismiss for a violation of team rules, because that could be a number of things. And there's a lot of gray area out there. But let's just say that the previous issues that Boise State is aware of, I've been told are not of the super, super serious offense. And so you got to, trust Spencer Danielson and company here that if this was something involving a female, something involving some sort of weapon or firearm, like he's probably not going to be here. So, I don't want to divulge too much in terms of what it actually is. I don't know if that's fair to the kid or not, but and I'm also not, totally vouching for the kid. I guess I'm vouching for Boise State that they've done a ton of homework on this. They've done a ton of research, and they believe that the issue that he was dealing with is something that they can help him get back on track and get it going. And they've got a detailed plan in place for him to, get things turned around. So they feel like they have a plan in place, a structure in place. I think his family, it sounds like maybe thinking getting him to Boise, Idaho is going to be good for him. And they are going to, see what happens this spring. It was referred to me as maybe this is a little too, taking it a little too far, but it's essentially a tryout. He's got this spring to come in, immerse himself in this city and this at university and this team, and show that he is corrected, what he was dealing with in the past, and show that he is able to, get to class and get to practice and get to weights and do everything that he, can do and needs to do. And if that all goes well and the spring goes well, then he'll, be on the team this fall. And I guess tryout is a fair way to kind of look at it, but everyone's on a tryout, right? If somebody that's already on the team does something, BSU Bill, I'm just going to say you're on to the right track there. Again, no one can say they know every piece of every person's past, so I'm not 100% defending Chris Marshall. If something else were to pop up at some point with anybody, we don't really know these football players other than what we see, but I would say that what BSU Bill is saying there in the chat is close to some of the things that I was hearing. So, obviously, violation of team rules can be a lot of different things, and that's, the direction that I kind of going. I think that the plan they have in place, I think that the system that they're going to have in place, they feel like this is worth taking a risk. Was it an easy decision? Probably not. Did Spencer Danielson probably have this weigh on him for a while and some sleepless nights? Probably so. But you think about a 5-star talent, and I believe Spencer Danielson's the type of coach. We've heard him, reference his faith, and I think he's the type of coach that thinks he can help this young man get back on track and still make something of his football career. I also think that Chris Marshall understands this is his last chance. And so you're at your third, Division I school. You've already been at a JUCO. He's got 2 years left. I think that all parties involved, are kind of focused and realize that this is his last chance. And so, as I said, they're going to see what happens this spring. He's on the team. He's a member of the program, but I don't think his leash is very long. If something bad were to happen, then I think that Boise State would admit their mistake and he would be out of there. But I think they're confident that they can help him and that he's a changed person and that this is going to be a match that works well for both sides. But we will certainly see here moving forward. It's an intriguing addition and certainly comes with some questions, comes with some baggage, however you want to phrase it. But Spencer Danielson looks like believes in giving this kid a second chance. And as I said, with whatever comes out, and there's some folks in the chat that are onto it, at least what has come out publicly and what the dismissals from the teams were for that Boise State is aware of, is something that someone probably deserves a second chance for. So we will see what happens with him, because the talent on the field is hard to pass up. You look at what he did in high school. You look at what he's done at the places he's been. He's a premier prospect that could be a game changer. And again, number 24 overall player in the 2022 class. He comes in now as the number 1 junior college ranked prospect in the country by 247 Sports. And you saw right away when he, when he signed, when it came out yesterday that he was coming, a lot of national people pushing even further. Boise State looks like the Group of 5 playoff team to me. Oh man, Boise State, they're going to be a fun team to watch this year. Excuse me. I even saw somebody say, I hope Boise State can get the higher seed so we can get a home playoff game on the blue. What would that be like on national TV? So I'm not sure the CFP folks would like that as much, having a college football playoff game with only 36,000 people in the stands. But a lot of possibilities and a lot of hype right now. He only played in, I think, 5 or 6 games at Kilgore, 21 catches, 449 yards. But you look at his last couple of years of high school, 60 catches, 1,475 yards. and 29 touchdowns in his last 2 years at Fort Bend High School. So 60 catches and 29 of them went for touchdowns. Literally 1 out of every 2 times he caught the ball, he found the end zone his last 2 years. And that's 60 catches. And that's, maybe doesn't seem like a crazy amount, average of 30 a year in a 10-game schedule. That's, 3 or 4 a game. But there in Texas, obviously the talent level and the, competition in the games and even guys on your own team that you're fighting with for carries and for catches is immense. So 29 touchdowns in 2 years of high school. His last 2 years of high school football there are huge. And you add him to Malachi Nelson. You add him to Ashton Genty. And those 3 guys right now you've got, and we could throw Cam Camper in there. He did some he wasn't the 5-star prospect, but he did some things at Indiana. But you start looking at the new additions or the new returnees for Boise State on offense, and Ashton Genty and is, as my wife kind of said this morning, we're talking, she's right. He's a 5-star running back, and you have a 5-star wide receiver now and a 5-star quarterback. And you start looking at the talent of this offense, and Bush Hamden is going to have, if these guys can stay healthy, he's going to have quite the plethora of weapons to try to scheme things here with. And you have Breezy Dubar, who I think is going to be better. You have Latrell Caples, who's coming back, from missing all of last season with an injury, but was the leading receiver 2 years ago for Boise State. You expect Prince Strawn and Austin Bolt to both be better. I think they have a lot of options at receiver. And the good thing is Malachi Nelson, he's already here working out with his teammates and will be a part of spring ball. Understanding is that, he's already here as well. Chris Marshall is here, is starting workouts with the team either today or did yesterday or right around, that's happening now. He will be in class this spring, have to catch up because he missed a couple of weeks, but still able to enroll and be here this spring. And you'll have Chris Marshall involved in spring practices as well. Cam Camper, the wide receiver from Indiana, is here, but is still coming off an injury, and I don't think will be able to do much in spring practice. So the talent they're adding is immense. We'll see. I mean, I think if there was an impact offensive line transfer out there to replace Cade Beresford, that's one spot I would still like to see them maybe try to address. There's another portal opening for a couple of weeks after spring ball ends. You can still add somebody at that point. But you look at the additions they've made and you look at the schedule. Somebody else, by the way, asked me about the schedule. That will be out in the next couple of weeks to month, maybe. It's usually, I guess, typically it's late February to early March. And the Mountain West is typically one of the last conferences to release the schedule. You saw the ACC came out with their schedule this week. So somebody asked me about that on Twitter. And the Mountain West schedule, typically one of the last to come out. And that's typically around the Mountain West basketball tournament. So I would say still a month or still, several weeks away probably from that company. And this is another question actually that my wife brought up, and I think is a very good one. We should just let her start hosting her own show. But the defense, I mean, you got all these guys on offense. There's a lot of hype on the offense, but Derek says, how are we feeling about the defense taking a step forward? Certainly, they added Jonathan Irby, the corner from Cal. We'll have to see what happens with the Jalen Clark situation. But certainly the secondary brings back a lot of talent. And you could look at that, depending on who you are and your thoughts on the secondary, you could say it's a good thing they're all coming back, or maybe some of you are saying it's not a good thing they're all coming back. But I think another year of experience for Alexander Tubner and Rodney Robinson and Shea Oladipo is going to be immensely beneficial on the back end to have those guys back. And I think all three of those guys are veterans and guys that know how to play, and I think are going to take step forwards this year. You do obviously have a new secondary coach as well, which I think is going to make a difference. I mentioned Stacy Collins, new special teams coach, new inside linebackers coach. I mean, you've got two new coaches on defense. You got a new co-defensive coordinator and safeties coach, which is going to come in, Tyler Stockton from Ball State, and bring in some big, changes in terms of ideas and things. And then obviously Stacy Collins coaching linebackers. He was just at Penn State and coaching in the Big Ten. I think that is a huge deal to get two new coaches on the defensive side to help kind of, get some new blood in there and some new ideas and some things that are done differently. And Eric Chenander getting promoted to defensive coordinator. We'll see what changes there as well. But certainly they went out and the defense was one of the areas that folks said needed to get better. And they got two veteran defensive coaches. And, Ball State bringing in their defensive coordinator to leave to be a position coach at Boise State. It's a big deal. Getting Stacy Collins to leave Penn State is a position coach to come back and be a position coach in a lateral move, so to speak. Big deal again. So you have, Ahmed Hassanin back. You've got some of these guys back on the D line. They've added a lot of guys as well. We'll see at linebacker. I think Andrew Simpson is an emerging star. Obviously, Marco Notriana is there as well, but you lose DJ Schramm, and that's going to be a big loss, no doubt. At corner, you have McCoy back, who I really like. Jalen Clark, we'll see what happens with him situation, but you've got Markel Reed back. You've got Kaniho back, and I mentioned you brought in Irby, so a ton of experience. I mean, again, that's not always a great thing if there's better players out there, but I'm bullish that this defense is going to be better than some folks maybe are expecting, or maybe than it was last year. Because I thought they cleaned some things up last year. And as I said, you're bringing in some new coaches. I think experience is something that you can't teach, obviously, and veteran leadership is something that just, doesn't grow on trees. And for Boise State to have as much as they have coming back on defense, I think you bank on experience, and you bank on veterans and leadership. And maybe that weighs out a little bit more than just raw talent. And I think that the sum of all parts for Boise State's defense is going to certainly be an improvement this year for Boise State on the defensive side of the ball. So Coach Collins going to make Dudley into Avery Williams in that return game. They had 3 return touchdowns, I think, or they had a punt return touchdown. And they had a couple blocked kicks for touchdowns the year that Stacey Collins was at Boise State a couple of years ago. Derek's talking about Ahmed Hassanin, Simpson, Virgin, big jump in the final third of the season. Yeah, they did. Some of the overall numbers weren't great at times, but overall, I thought the defense down the stretch really showed some improvement. I think you're hoping that can carry over into the spring and then into the summer. And I saw somebody talking yesterday about, can they sell out the spring game? Can you sell out the Boise State spring game? I'm going to say no. I mean, they were having trouble selling out home games last year, so I don't think you sell out the spring game. But can they get the largest crowd for a Boise State spring game in 15 years since the Kellen Moore era? Can that be done? Possibly. I mean, if you have Malachi Nelson on display, you have Chris Marshall on display, you have just the new Spencer Danielson era first game on display on a nice Saturday in April. They usually get between 5,000 and 8,000 for these spring games. Last couple of years, 10,000 maybe. Can you get 15 or 20? I think it's possible. I'd be shocked if they sell it out. Maybe that changes and they do some things differently. But can you have one of the larger spring game crowds you've had in several years? I don't think there's any doubt about that, especially if it's free or $5 or $10 tickets. I think you let a lot of folks come in and see this team. I think Malachi Nelson's going to be exciting for everyone to watch. I mean, that first day of spring practice, which, again, is only 6-7 weeks away, when myself and the other media are out there at practice and posting our grainy, out of focus, too far away cell phone video of practice. I guarantee you the one that gets the most views is going to be Malachi Nelson, like throwing into a net or something at practice, because everybody just wants to see what he looks like and how he is out there in a Boise State uniform. And there's going to be a ton of hype, and that's great for local sports talk radio and shows like BNN. There's going to be a ton of hype around Boise State football the next 7 or 8 months. And April 13th is the day that hasn't officially been announced, but Spencer Danielson wrote back to a former player, I believe, and that is going to be, Alexandra, the day of the spring game. You're correct. Spencer Danielson said on Twitter, April 13th. So we'll have to see. Maybe we can get some sort of BNN tailgate event set up that day or something, or maybe some sort of event over at the James. Would love to. One of the goals at BNN is just, continue to make this kind of a family and a tight knit community, and for our subscribers and our followers and our viewers, we want to take care of you guys and let you meet some of each other and just kind of continue to build our community here. And so maybe we can get something together for around the spring game and get a big tailgate together and get some folks involved. I think that could be fun, because I do think that it's going to be a very well-attended, highly anticipated spring and then spring game on April 13th to finish it up. So offense is very intriguing. A lot of reasons to be excited, as I said. And certainly when you got Ashton Genty coming back and 4 starters on the offensive line coming back. And did you guys see Bush Hamden yesterday? That was actually pretty cool. And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but like Bush Hamden rarely, and most of these coaches rarely, if ever, tweeted. during the season last year, and now you got Bush Hamden like interacting with fans on Twitter. I don't know if that's a Spencer Danielson thing, or if that was an Andy Avalos thing, or if that was just maybe it's not connected at all. But Bush Hamden's been a little more open on Twitter, and he was watching video of the Tennessee Titans on his computer. Somebody said like live look of Spencer Danielson of Bush Hamden, and I think it showed him dancing or something after they got Chris Marshall. And then he wrote back and said, actually, here's the live look. And he was watching a tape of the Tennessee Titans, and somebody made a comment, and he said, oh, actually, I'm studying the screen game to help get Matt Lauder more touches. And so here they are in mid-January, and they're studying the ways to make the offense better and the playbook and things they can do to help guys. So I think Mike says, do the spring game tailgate. And Mike, I believe you emailed me. I haven't had a chance to email you back yet, but I appreciate your email, Mike. Always nice to get a positive email once in a while, and we certainly won't be getting any of those from New Mexico or Utah State fans anytime soon. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but always nice to hear from folks that are enjoying what we're doing at Bronco Nation News. And if you have any other suggestions or ideas on how to make Bronco Nation News better, we would love to hear from you as well. My email is always open, and happy to chat with folks at Rains at BroncoNationNews.com, RAINS at BroncoNationNews.com. And yeah, if we can get some idea on something to do before the spring game, would love to get everybody together for a big BNN tailgate and get to meet some of you guys and hang out. And first, we're going to do it at the Mountain West basketball tournament. As I said, hoping everybody will join us for the Mountain West tournament. Circa Resort and Casino is the unofficial official home for you guys, for the fans, and that's the BNN headquarters. We'll be down there all week, and the big event is going to be Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're teaming up with KTIK for the pool party. There's rumors we can get Mike Prater and John Mallory dueling cannonballs into the pool if we get a big enough crowd there. So we're looking forward to this. And again, 15% off if you want to stay at Circa or the D. Send me an email and I'll send you the link. But if you're staying somewhere else and just want to come to the pool party and hang out and eat and drink and watch all the games all day, that is free of charge if you email an RSVP to my email, rains@BroncoNationNews.com. So this will be our next kind of big event for BNN folks, and then certainly we'll try to do something for the spring game as well. As again, as I said, I think it's going to be one of the most highly anticipated spring games that we've seen here at Boise State in a long, long time, and 7 or 8 months of off-season hype until we get ready for. Kind of a bummer. I mean, Georgia Southern for the first game. It is what it is, but you wish the first game was the home game, or you wish the first game was the Oregon game. The Georgia Southern game, maybe it's a better. You get a little bit of a more winnable game on the road, get work some of the kinks out, and then be ready for Oregon in week 2. But you kind of wish that Georgia Southern game was at home, and I believe that was a Kurt Absey special. So not really sure the reasoning behind scheduling that. I know Georgia Southern was a little better when the game was booked, but they're an okay. But going all the way across to Georgia on the road and to open the season, just kind of a weird first game for Boise State. But the comments are rolling in, and we appreciate it. The ICCU YouTube chat, Idaho Central Credit Union. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest branch we've talked about is the mobile e-branch online banking on your phone on the ICCU app. Check them out, ICCU.com. We had our money in a savings account for BNN, and we got a random call from someone there the other day and said, you might actually be better if you're in this other account over here. And so we looked into it, and we made the switch. And now we're getting a better return in the savings account on the interest rate, thanks to them just randomly calling us and noticing we could be doing better. And so that's the kind of personal service you get from Idaho Central Credit Union. Check them out. ICCU.com. Make the switch today. I wish I had done it years earlier. I did it when they became a sponsor, but I am so happy that I did. And the Rains, it's so easy to move all of our money around and things. So appreciative of ICCU. And again, ICCU.com. They're the sponsors of our road trip coverage and also the sponsors of the ICCU YouTube chat. So get all your comments and thoughts in the YouTube chat. We'll continue to talk football, but also going to talk a little basketball. 2 big games in the Mountain West last night, some big games coming up, and we'll keep this thing rolling for as long as we got folks wanting to comment and chat and viewers, and we'll any variety of sports and topics, we'll take it, but I certainly do want to get to basketball here in the next segment, but if we got more football talk, we'll keep that going as well. Going to take a quick 90-second timeout. I just talked for like 25 minutes straight, so going to get a drink of water, and we'll take a quick 90-second timeout. And get your comments, your thoughts in. We'll keep this thing rolling. Bronco Nation News on a Blue and Orange Store Thursday. We're back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, back here live on Bronco Nation News. By the way, I saw somebody in the Facebook chat saying they're looking for their gift card. I'll just be completely honest. There's a lot going on right now in the middle of basketball season, and with traveling and stuff, I have not been able to send out all of the gift cards yet. I actually am still waiting on some of the gift cards to come to me. So the combination of me and my intern, Jaden Finch, we will do our best here in the near future to get your gift cards out. If you won a prize and you have not heard from me, please send me an email, and we will get in contact with you. Somebody else jokingly said I don't respond to emails. I do. I certainly get them. I know one that Nate sent, you said was about content coverage, and that's more of an off-season type thing that I will get to at some point. But no, I try to personally I certainly read them and try to reply to them the best I can. If you can imagine with the traveling and the games and the show hosting and then also running the business side of this, it's not like I'm just sitting around. There's plenty to do, and I do apologize. That's not an excuse if you did not get an email back from me. That is certainly it's still kept as new and will be replied here in the near future. But I do want to get all of these items out of my garage, so it's not like I'm trying to hang on to the grill or not want to return it and get it to you guys. So if you won one of the items, I think the winner of the chair we're still looking to connect with, and the second charcoal barbecue pit. If you won an item, a gift card, anything in the last couple of weeks, some of the beer, the Cutwaters, please, we'll be in touch with you, but it'd be easier if you could just email me with your address and a contact number, and we'll get in touch on how to get some of this stuff to you. I promise it is coming in the near future. So I sincerely apologize for the delay on some of that stuff. And it is going to be happening here in the near future, because believe me, I would much rather get the gift cards out to you and get them off my desk and get the items out of my garage here moving forward. So appreciate all of you guys for watching. And Derek's wondering about CSU and New Mexico basketball games last night. Two interesting games last night in the Mountain West Conference. New Mexico pulling away to just crush San Jose State. I thought that might be a game, but it ended up not being a game. And I'll tell you what, for all the hate that I've been getting from New Mexico fans for my power rankings the other day, they certainly are playing very impressive right now. And so now, again, I will say the San Diego State and Utah State games were at home, and the road games were Air Force and San Jose. So I still, New Mexico is playing very well, yes. And do they look like right now one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Mountain West? I think it's hard to argue that, but I also will say that their schedule is heavily backloaded. And so the verdict, I think, is going to be out on New Mexico for a while. I've said this a couple of times on this show, but the final 4 road games in the last 3 weeks of the season for New Mexico are Utah State, Boise State, San Diego State, and Nevada. So the schedule has been pretty favorable for New Mexico. It is going to continue to be favorable for New Mexico because they have 2 home games against Nevada and Boise State this week. And I know I probably shouldn't say this. It's a Boise State show. You're all Boise State fans, but that's going to be a really hard game for Boise State to win on Wednesday. If you're just playing the percentages, New Mexico probably beats Boise State at the Pit in a couple of weeks. I don't care how good teams are playing. The Pit has become, once again, one of the hardest places in college basketball to play. And if you're just playing percentages, even Ken Pom has it as a 7-point game. So for me to just guarantee Boise State's going to win that game, it would be would not be smart. And I think that New Mexico probably wins that game. And you know what? That's not a big loss or hurt for Boise State. If they lose by 30 or something, it might be, but overall, it won't be the end of the world if Boise State loses at any of these other top venues. They just can't lose against Fresno and can't lose against some of these other teams coming up. But New Mexico is on a favorable part of their schedule here. Nevada and Boise State at home, at Wyoming, which I guess can be tricky, but I expect them to win that. And then they have UNLV at home. The next 4 games, I fully expect New Mexico to win. And they're going to be sitting there at 21-3 and 9-2 in the conference, and maybe ranked, 12th or 13th in the country. And their fans are going to be bragging and talking all this trash, and good for them. The real test will come in the final 7 games for New Mexico, where they play at Nevada, at San Diego State in back-to-back weeks. That's Valentine's Day week. They're at Nevada on a Tuesday, at San Diego State on a Friday. That's going to be that's the week right after the Super Bowl. Tuesday, Friday after the Super Bowl is when their gauntlet starts. They're at Nevada, at San Diego State. Then they have Colorado State at home and Air Force at home. But then they're at Boise State, home to Fresno State, at Utah State. So 4 of their last 7 games are at Nevada, at San Diego State, at Boise State, at Utah State, and Colorado State at home. So I think we're really not going to know the New Mexico's final, record and all that stuff till the end. The perception of New Mexico, I guess, could change based on the final couple of games of the season. So expect New Mexico to win some games now and keep winning, but just remember that their gauntlet of the schedule is coming out later in the season. Alexander pointing that they kind of fell apart at this point last season. Yeah, they did, and it was kind of similar with the schedule. And I know New Mexico fans want to look at cherry pick certain things, but when you look at the quad system, Boise State 7-4, I believe, in the first 2 quadrants. New Mexico only 3-3, and Boise State has 4 quad 1 wins. New Mexico has 2. Now, New Mexico does have the edge in the net ranking and the Ken Pom and Bart Torvik and a lot of the computer metrics. Which is why, Saturday, a 15, 20-point win for Boise State over Utah State, which probably ain't happening, would be massive for the computer rankings. It's why being up 16 against Fresno and letting that cut to 4 the other day really hurt them. You got to win these games that you're up big. You got to win them big. And so a win is imperative on Saturday against Utah State for Boise State, but if they could find a way to win the game by a decent margin, that would certainly help the computer rankings, but certainly we know that's going to be tough to do. But again, New Mexico strength of schedule is, not great. Their out of conference strength of schedules in the 200s. So New Mexico did what they needed to do. They beat up on a lot of bad teams. But if you put on paper, Boise State and New Mexico's resume, it's really not close. Boise State has much stronger wins, a much better strength of schedule. But New Mexico really took care of the bad teams and beat them by a lot, and that helped raise their computer rankings. So I want to get this out there. I think New Mexico is a very good team. I think right now, they're the eye test, what you're looking at. I watched that game against San Jose, and they're very impressive with Dent and Mashburn and House at the guard position, with Toppin and Junior Joseph inside. I mean, they really have a well-balanced, nice team, and I really like Richard Pitino. I'm going to try to get him on the show next week. We had him on at Media Days. Like, Richard Pitino is one of my more favorite coaches in the Mountain West. He's a good guy. And so I have nothing personal against New Mexico. I hadn't seen enough of them when I made the power rankings probably to give them a fair assessment. I watched that whole game last night, and they were super impressive. But also, as I said, in the back of my head, I'm knowing that their schedule is going to get a lot tougher at the end of the season. So I think my power rankings were also kind of a prediction too. So New Mexico is certainly trending up. They're going in the right direction. That's going to be an extremely, extremely tough game for Boise State on Wednesday. And by the way, you get a little Sunday night game. Boise State plays on Saturday against Utah State, and then Sunday night at 8 p.m., a little Sunday night special. Sunday at 8 p.m., you get Nevada at New Mexico. So you can get the preview. Boise State gets the extra day to prepare. They get Saturday, the rest of the day, all day Sunday. New Mexico has to battle Nevada on Sunday night, but that game is in the Pit. And then you'll be able to get a head start and an advanced look at New Mexico on Sunday night. And then that game will be on Wednesday night at the Pit in Albuquerque. It's going to be an extremely hard game. Right now, wouldn't appear that's a game that you would feel great about Boise State winning. But again, take care of business in your other games and your home games and the games you're supposed to win, and that's okay. If you win against Utah State on Saturday, you're kind of, it's not a huge deal if you go down to the pit and lose. But if you lose to Utah State and you lose a home game, well, then you got to make one up on the road somewhere. And so we'll see what happens. So I could be wrong for Boise State fans. I hope I'm wrong. But based on what I've seen from New Mexico and knowing how good they play at home, and when they just crushed San Diego State at home, crushed Utah State at home, that's just going to be a really, really tough spot for Boise State. But that was New Mexico. Let's go to Colorado State for a second, because they are clearly, I don't know if overrated is the right word, but we might have overvalued Colorado State a little bit because of their start. And they had some great wins. They beat Creighton. They beat Washington. They beat Colorado. They did lose to St. Mary's. They beat New Mexico at home. That got them to 13-1. I think a lot of people were rightfully so, giving Colorado State a lot of praise. They were 17th in the country, when they came to Boise State. But they're 0-3 on the road in Mountain West play. Now, in fairness, they've gone to the three of the 5 hardest venues in their first 3 games, and they're 0-3, and that's going to happen a lot. I think I saw that the top 6 teams in the Mountain West only have 1 win in each other's buildings, and that's Boise State's win over Nevada, which could end up being a huge win when you look at the standings when it's all said and done. But it's just really hard to go on the road and win in conference play, and Colorado State has won their 3 home games against New Mexico, Air Force, and UNLV, and they've lost their 3 road games. So Utah State, Boise State, and Nevada. And just watching the game last night, I just, I don't know, something just didn't seem, Colorado State just doesn't seem like, just didn't seem right. They just struggled. I didn't think Stevens played particularly great in terms of scoring the ball. And some of those role players that have been really good, just, I don't know, hard to explain, but Colorado State looks a little more vulnerable. That is certainly a game on February 6th, Tuesday, February 6th, Boise State going down to Colorado State. That's probably what I would say of the remaining road venues in terms of the big boys: San Diego State, Utah State, the Pit, Logan, as I mentioned, and Colorado State. I would probably rank that as the most winnable at this point. It's certainly tough. They do a great job there, but in terms of road venues and in terms of the way teams are playing right now, I would say Boise State has a puncher's chance, has a fighter's chance, has a decent chance, I think, to be in that game in Fort Collins. We'll see if Colorado State can rebound. They're at Wyoming on Saturday now, turn around with back-to-back road games. They got San Diego State coming to town next Tuesday. That'll be an interesting game. So there's some opportunities for Colorado State, but they're 3-3 now, and we might have overvalued them just a little bit going in, and we'll see. Perry says less than 250 tickets remaining for the Utah State game. Yeah, that game is almost sold out already. Kudos, Bronco Nation. I've been critical at times of the fans. I thought it was I was going to say frankly embarrassing. That might be a little too strong, but to have 300 unsold tickets for that San Diego State game last week, the third level was pretty much wide open in the student section. I was a little surprised that wasn't jam-packed for the San Diego State game. But it sounds like for the Utah State game, it is going to be. There's 250 tickets left. They had 500 as of yesterday. You go on that map of tickets for this game, and there are very few blue sections. So kudos, Bronco Nation. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere, 2:00 on Saturday, and you wonder if the game not being on TV is going to help the attendance. Folks can't watch it on TV, but obviously with the Mountain West app, most everybody watching this show is probably watching it on their smart TV or on the YouTube app on their phone. It's the same thing, the Mountain West Network app. So I know you guys don't have that problem, but some older folks that aren't maybe as good with technology don't know how to find the Mountain West Network app. This game apparently was, KTVB tried to get it and couldn't quite get it done with Boise State and Utah State. And so this game will be on KTVB Plus and their app and things, but it'll be streamed on the Mountain West Network. So that's a big, little bit of a hit nationally for this game to not be on TV. Certainly for Boise State, the national stage they got on, the recognition they got on national CBS for beating San Diego State. The fact that this one won't be as easy for AP voters or other folks around the country to just kind of flip the channel and find the game with the 2 teams in the Mountain West playing for first place is kind of a raw deal. So let's take another quick 90-second timeout. Thanks to some of our sponsors. This show is free to you. I know some folks, as soon as they hear we're going to take a break, just change the channel or go watch another show. And I get it. 90 seconds is not that long of a time, though, and you're watching this show for free. because of these commercials for these sponsors. So we truly appreciate our sponsors. We hope you support the sponsors, use these businesses, support these companies and these boosters and these individuals that help us. If you don't, hopefully you at least let them know that you appreciate them for helping make these shows free of charge. I mean, we could make these YouTube shows behind the paywall, and we really don't want to have to do that. But obviously the sponsors need to get a return on their investment to keep this show free for you guys. So please support the sponsors. Please watch this 90-second commercial, and we'll look ahead to Saturday's game a little more and continue to take your comments and thoughts in the YouTube chat. We're having fun. No need to shut this thing down anytime soon. If you guys are wanting to keep it rolling, we're back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State Athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, two things before I get a comment about it. Yes, we're redoing the Lithia Ford commercial. I know Taylon Green is no longer on the team, but the ad is still correct. He did get a vehicle from them. But we are losing one of our sponsors at the end of January. This is actually the first time that we have voluntarily lost a sponsor in 2.5 years of Bronco Nation News. And I will detail that more later, but we are redoing some of the commercials at the end of January, and that will all be changed. We are not losing Lithia Ford. Lithia Ford is a big sponsor of ours. They are staying on board. But we are doing it. We lost a different one, as I just lost my light here. So I'll see if I can get this turned back on. But we are losing one of our sponsors, and so we're redoing the commercials at the end of January. I'm not going to say who it is, Bronco Ray, because there's more to the story, and also they're still paying advertiser right now for a couple more days, and I want to no, we did not lose Lean Feast. Lean Feast is a great sponsor of ours, and looking forward to that, and I'm down about 10 pounds in the last couple of weeks since the new year, thanks to Lean Feast, and still rolling along on Lean Feast as well. So no, we did not lose Lean Feast. We appreciate them, and I do love our man over at Paddles at Poke, by the way. We've actually talked about some things, and we're who knows what'll happen, but I really do appreciate them, and they're a great company. So no, I'm not dragging the sponsors. There is more to the story. I might explain it in February once they're off the books, but they are still on the books for now, and they are a loyal sponsor, and we want you to support them. So it's not a super easy process to redo those commercials. And how about that? Daniel Hansen, down 5 pounds myself from Lean Feast. Awesome, Daniel. That's great to hear. And we appreciate that. I just love how easy it is, even if you're not trying to lose weight. If you are, it's great. But if you're just trying to find the easiness of just not having to cook while you're at work, throw something in the microwave for 2 minutes and it's good to go, and it's healthy and delicious. Highly recommend Lean Feast, everybody over there, and it will be worth your time, and they deliver as well. So no, we are rocking strong with Lean Feast, and like I said, apologize for the Taylon Green mention still being in there in the graphic that says fall, but we appreciate Lithia Ford. They are big supporters of ours. I have a vehicle from Lithia Ford. We may be needing to buy another vehicle from them in the near future, as our minivan is starting to show signs of going downhill. So go support Lithia Ford Boise, lithiafordboise.com. And I'm sure they'll be popping up with another NIL deal with an athlete here in the near future. And you would be wrong as well. Bronco TCS is a good sponsor of ours. We appreciate them. If you're looking for a job, I know the trucking industry is booming right now. So transcomservice.com, awesome industry to get into, get out on the open road, and they can help you with all the permits and things. So we're happy with TCS. They are a happy supporter of ours, and we are thankful for them. So not going to get into it. We're not going to keep playing the guessing game until we pick which one it is. But there's a little bit of, they're just wanting to take a step back, and it's not even because of us. It's also because of some issues going on, frankly, at Boise State, and some things they're just not super happy with. And so they wanted to take a break, and I understand it, and we'll see what happens. But that is the reason I haven't updated the commercials yet, because I'm going to do it all at once at the end of January. So this time next week or late next week, hopefully we'll have some new ads ready to go moving forward. Does Malachi and Omar Stanley have any NIL deals going? I don't know the answer to that, actually. That's an interesting one. I'm going to say not very many if they do. I know I was talking to Matt Bauscher on the flight down to Fresno the other day, and he had lunch with Malachi and said he was an outstanding young man and has his head on straight, and took his whole lineman out to eat the other day to get to know them. He's apparently doing the right things, and so I don't know about the NIL deals yet, but I'm sure they're working on some stuff to try to get him involved with the collective and things like that. So stay tuned for information on that. Somebody was asking about getting the interview. Here it is. Are we going to get the interview with Malachi? We're working on it, but now that he is, signed and enrolled at Boise State, we can't just call him up. That's not how this works. We've got to go through the proper channels, and there's a person at Boise State, the sports information director, that has to set up and approve all the interviews. So you can't just kind of rogue call these athletes and get them on the show. It has to go through Boise State. They approve who's allowed to talk and who isn't. And so to this point, they have not made Malachi Nelson available to the media, but I am hoping at some point that they will. So looking at some of the comments here, good to know. We are hoping to get Malachi on the show at some point, but again, it's not just something I can do at this point. He's at Boise State, so same with Chris Marshall. Once they announced him yesterday, he's enrolled, and they now can control Chris Marshall in terms of the interviews and things like that. So we can't just call him up. No, I think that the NIL game is certainly something Boise State is trying to step up. And I think with some of these 5-star players and things coming in, if you go to Chris Marshall's Instagram, by the way, check some of his photos. There's a couple of photos where he is just holding wads of cash. And my understanding is he was getting like ridiculous NIL money at Texas A&M, like, 5 figures a month, like 10 plus grand, maybe a month when he was at Texas A&M. Well, I don't, and you look at the cash he's holding, it is crazy to think about SEC money. Have I talked to Nelson off air? I have not. We have not had the chance at all to talk to him, but looking forward to that here in the near future. And I will say this about Spencer Danielson. He seems like he gets it, and he's wanting to work with the media on some things. And so hoping here in the next couple of weeks to meet with Spencer and talk about media coverage and some things that we'd like to have happen, and opening it up to practice maybe a little more, and opening it up to some players that in the past have been off limits, some things like that, so we can tell better stories and talk to guys. And opening things up a little bit, I think, is something that the media is interested in. And from the talks with Spencer, it sounds like Spencer's interested in that as well. So hopefully we'll have some better media policies and things going forward into spring ball. It's already been a huge step forward. Patrick Walsh at Boise State has done a tremendous job. He just finished his first year as the SID and made some great changes. I think Spencer gets it, and it's going to be a fresh start for everybody this year. And I think we're moving in the right direction. I think you as fans are going to benefit. It's not, media complains sometimes about media coverage, but it's not for our benefit. It's for your benefit. When we complain that we're talking to the same 8 guys every week, or practice is closed or whatever else, it's not for us. It's so we can get better stories. And the ultimate winner when the media coverage is opened more is the fans and the program itself. And so that's what we're trying to do here moving forward. Let's see here. Somebody asked about my kid, by the way, making the select team. He did not make the team. He tried out the last couple of Saturdays for the Meridian 9U select team. Tough decision. They had a lot of great players, but my son dealing with, what I'm sure he'll deal with plenty of times in his life, failure and disappointment not making the team. But we're going to get a little rec team together in Meridian Youth Baseball, and I'm going to coach both my kids on the same team, hopefully, and we will take our chances at the rec league championship, and then he may give it a shot on the all-star team over the summer. So yeah, he was a little disappointed for a couple of days, but overall, I think he was doing okay, and I think he's excited to maybe team up with his brother and see what we can do in the rec league, and then give it a shot next year. It's a he's 9. It's not the end of the world if he didn't make one select team. Omar interview on KTIK last night was awesome. What a great young man. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was great, and he was in studio there, so that was fun, and that was nice. I bet Spencer would let Malachi get an exclusive interview with BNN for Bronco Nation before the spring. That'd be nice. Spencer's watching. Yeah, fans would love it if he's watching. Like, yeah, we'd love to get him on. I would love to do that. We'll see though. I don't know. I think it'd probably be a group interview with everybody. So we'll. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some daddy's boy comp like Utah State when I'm coaching my kids out there for sure. We will see that moving forward. But again, appreciate all you guys for checking us out. I'm seeing if I missed any comments here on the show. I was a little curious with no co-host today how we do, but we're 55 minutes in and we're rolling along. I do want to throw one more plug in if you wouldn't mind subscribing. $50 one-time fee. $50 one-time fee using the promo code BNN50 deal gets you a full year subscription. Mike Prater's columns, my articles, our coverage of Olympic sports, women's basketball, other sports that I would say is up there, second to none in terms of other outlets in the Valley covering the other sports, and our travel costs involved, and our paying to, we pay the other show hosts and writers and things to come on the shows. So if you're able to help us out, we would sincerely appreciate it. $50, a one-time fee, BNN 50 deal. And as part of that subscription, we do some giveaways and things. And our grand prize giveaway in a couple weeks is a VIP basketball experience to San Diego, a trip for 2 on a private jet, and a fun 24 hours in San Diego and going to the game. So if you're able to help us out and want to get entered in some cool contests, that would be great. As I said earlier, if you've won one of the contests recently, please reach out to me via email, and Jaden or myself will do our best to get in touch with you and get you your prizes and things here moving forward. And again, make plans now. The BNN KTIK pool party, we're less than 2 months away. March 15th. If you're making plans to come to Vegas, email me if you want to, stay at Circa, stay at the D. We got 15% off. Our man Travis Hawks, the Blue and Orange store, he's there right now. He got 15 rooms for his company retreat, and they're staying at Circa, and I'm jealous. He was sending me some pictures, and I appreciate Travis for supporting the sponsors and going down to Circa and staying there. So next time you're in Vegas, you certainly need to stay at Circa, and make sure you throw out a social media plug for us and tag BNN Bronco Nation so we can show Circa that the advertising is working. But if you want to stay there for the Mountain West tournament, they do have some rooms left. 15% off if you email me and for the link. And then, as I said, if you want to go to the pool party, it's free of charge. We'll let you skip the $40 cover charge if you email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, and we'll get you on the list for the pool party. And cannot wait to see everybody on March 15th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then hopefully you got Boise State playing in the semifinals that night of the conference tournament. That would be just an epic day, an epic weekend there at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So hopefully everybody is making plans for that. If you're on the fence, I don't know why you would not want to go to the conference tournament this year. This is kind of the year that you definitely should want to go. And I can't think of a better year with so many good teams, so many good games, so much is going to be on the line in the conference tournament. And we're trying to help you out with a discounted room and stuff. So Tyree, appreciate you, man. Whatever you're working with, hope it goes well for you. He says, happy to see the growth, chasing your dreams, inspiring you to do the same. Oh yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We're a little over 2 years in now. And as I said, these the business model that we've created, some folks didn't know if it would work. And by no means am I swimming in cash and getting ready to, become a huge booster at Boise State or anything anytime soon. We're still, we're paying the bills, but there's still always room for growth, I guess I can say. And so we're excited for the future, but we could certainly use your guys' help in terms of supporting the sponsors, some of which you see behind us. Highly would ask that's the first thing you can do. People always say, how can I help BNN? Can I watch the extra 10-second commercials on the YouTube? I don't know how much that really helps, but if you can try to get a hold of folks at the Blue and Orange store or Lithia or Row Painting or whoever, and first of all, use them and tell them you're using them because of BNN. That's always a start, or at least thanking them for their, and reaching out to the business owners and stuff. That's the easiest way. Let them know their advertising is working and that you appreciate them for helping BNN. And as I said, these are free shows. The pregame and postgame shows, getting Coach Rice on live on the postgame show. Those are all free shows. Thanks exclusively to the sponsors for making this happen. So speaking of sponsors, Bronco Brew Coffee, you saw it sitting over here. Perfect time to check them out. BroncoBrew.coffee, roasted to order coffee, supporting Boise State Athletics with every sip. And it's delicious roasted to order coffee. You go on there, you pick the athlete you want to donate to, and literally Andrew Simpson or Markel Reed or Sam Winter could get, $3 from your bag of coffee. And that adds up over the course of a year if you sign up for a subscription. So you can sign up for a weekly subscription. Every week they'll have a new fresh delivered bag delivered to your door anywhere in the United States. And this is the alumni blend right here. Milk chocolate, caramel, and cinnamon. And highly recommend Bronco Brew Coffee. BroncoBrew.coffee is the website. And you can sign up there and pick where you want your money to go towards. But again, you're helping Boise State, you're helping the NIL game, and you're having some delicious coffee at the same time. So I highly recommend you check out BroncoBrew.coffee. Coulter says, seems like Malachi prefers to avoid the attention in the media. And that is correct. Remember, I talked to his dad, and his dad had told us that he just doesn't, that's not really his style. Doesn't want to really do a lot of interviews. Doesn't, kind of want to let his play do the talking. He's not a huge fan of interviews. He knows it's part of the job, but seems to be a little quieter guy. And, we'll see moving forward again what the availability is. In a perfect world, they'd let us get Cam Camper and a lot of these new transfers and Malachi and Chris Marshall and stuff, before spring ball gets going. We'll see if that ends up being the case or not, or if they're going to wait till the fall to let those guys talk, or the summer. We'll have to see, but that is something that we're pushing for, in terms of the media, trying to get some of these interviews. And I saw the Ridleys at an ISU game, and I made sure to mention BNN. Awesome. Dan, thank you. Yes, Ridley's Family Markets. Check them out. ShopRidleys.com. They're a great sponsor of ours, and you'd be surprised how far that goes. If you see Jim Sturk from Lithia at a game, or you see any of our sponsors like shaking their hand and saying, hey, I love watching BNN, and thanks for your support and your sponsorship of them. Like, that goes a long way in keeping them happy and wanting to keep advertising. And like I said, if you did, if you're able to, let them know, and that may be the difference between them wanting to continue or not continue. So all of our sponsors are usually at a lot of the games and, on social media pretty actively. So if you can reach out to a lot of them and let them know that you're appreciative and thankful, that does go a long way for us here at BNN. Alexandra joking about the BJ Rains without the E. Yes, there's no E in my last name. Some folks like to put an E in there. There is no E at the last in the last name. But we've got Utah State fans, New Mexico fans. They're certainly not super, happy with some of my analysis of their teams, I guess you can say. But again, there's just so many different metrics you can look at. Is it the NCAA tournament resume? Is it the eye test? A lot of different ways you can look at it. But I'll say this. Saturday's game against Utah State, if Utah State were to win, I may have to turn off my Twitter mentions for a while, because I think the Utah State fans would certainly feast on that one. So typically don't root for Boise State. Don't really care if Boise State wins. My job's the same either way. Certainly it's, better for fan interest and better for you guys and better for the players and coaches and everything when the team wins, but I'm not there rooting on press row. Really, I'm not a fan, and so I don't really care. But with that said, the Utah State game on Saturday would probably be nicer for my social media presence the next couple of days if Boise State is able to get a win at home against Utah State. So looking forward to that game on Saturday. Jay Tust will be my guest tomorrow, 9 a.m. Jay Tust and I will break down the game, get into the nuts and bolts of this one, and we are looking forward to that. So Jay Tust will join me at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Today, don't forget, we got Leon Rice talking at 12:45, and then we got Stacy Collins, his first interview since coming back to coach at Boise State. We're looking forward to that. We're going to be talking to Stacy Collins this afternoon. So we'll have Leon Rice and Stacy Collins posted to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel this afternoon. We'll probably play a few clips of both of those on tomorrow's show as well. So Make sure, again, we're like 10 subscribers away from 4,400 on YouTube. I would love to get past that 5,000 mark as soon as possible. If you're able to subscribe on YouTube, we would really appreciate that. If you can tell your friends, if you have multiple Google accounts, if you can subscribe on all of them, we would really appreciate it. We're trying to get that number up as fast as we can and as quick as we can. So, again, Bronco Nation News on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, the web address is just youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. It takes about 3 seconds to click subscribe there. And again, at some point, I hate to keep teasing this, but at some point, whether it be a pregame show or a postgame show or what, or a certain day of the week, we may make these, only available to the YouTube subscribers. Only make it available on YouTube. So start, just kind of getting that ingrained in your head, 9 a.m. every day to be watching us on the YouTube app or at youtube.com and trying to get away from Twitter and Facebook. And it's actually easier on YouTube because then you can still be on your phone scrolling around and doing other things, on your phone, texting or whatever while you're watching us on the YouTube app. So we're trying to slowly come down from Facebook and Twitter, and YouTube's where the monetization is at. So if you're able to help us, continue to build the YouTube following, we would certainly like that. So Stacey Collins, Leon Rice coming this afternoon, Jay Tuss coming tomorrow morning. And we just went an hour and 5 minutes with no co-host and no guest. That might be a record here at Bronco Nation News. So you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk. I am tired of talking for the last hour and to myself, but more importantly to all of you guys. I always appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. As I said, we're building a community here. Always enjoy. You guys are kind of like my extended family here, and always seeing the same faces and smiling folks in the YouTube chat. Always a lot of fun. And just looking right there, I see Bob Schuler, Alexander Lambert, Coulter Johnson, Tyree, and those are just the four that I can see. And I know you guys are always there commenting and very appreciative of the support along the way. And we couldn't do this show if there were no comments in here. I would have talked for 10 minutes and been done. So you guys are the reason that BNN is continuing to grow, and very appreciative of Robbie and all you guys for your support. And when you say hello at the games, that means a lot as well. So continue to keep commenting, continue to keep subscribing and telling your friends, and continue to keep watching the shows because it means a lot to me and my family, and certainly makes it more fun when I come on here and see 100 comments to help keep this thing going and to talk about different topics and things. So if you missed any of the show, you came in late, we talked about Chris Marshall, the 5-star prospect at the beginning. You can go back and watch that. And we talked some basketball. So full show today, an hour and 6 minutes. Got to get ready for the interviews down there. Again, Stacey Collins and Leon Rice coming up. We'll get those on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. We got Jay Tuss coming up tomorrow. And then a big one on Saturday. We'll be live with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. By the way, the postgame show is up for dibs. If you're a business owner and you think you want to get involved, the postgame show, love Lithia Ford. They're staying involved, but we decided that the postgame show is going to be now available. So it'll stay the Lithia Ford of Boise postgame show until I get a new sponsor on board. But if you're a business owner and you think sponsoring the postgame show might be something you're interested in, would love to chat with you for the rest of basketball season here and get that done. But we're having a lot of fun. It's been great. And again, subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends. And again, we'll get those posted this afternoon. Looking forward to chatting with Stacey Collins and finding out his reasoning for wanting to come back to Boise State and to leave Penn State. And I'm sure he's going to have some great stuff to say, and looking forward to catching up with Stacey today. And then again, Jay Tuss at 9 a.m. And our pregame show live from Extra Mile Arena. We'll have Abe Jackson. We'll have all kinds of stuff. That'll be at 1 p.m. on Saturday, ahead of what should likely be a sellout. If you're on the fence about buying tickets, first of all, they're cheaper than the San Diego State game. I think that was part of the reason the San Diego State game didn't sell out, is the cheapest ticket was like $50, maybe $40 they came down or something. But it was a lot of $50 and above tickets. And so I saw tickets for $20 in the upper level for this Utah State game. So if you're thinking about going, buy your tickets now. There's only a couple hundred left, and that's probably going to be a sellout. And first place on the line in the Mountain West going to be rocking at the X on Saturday. So hopefully we'll see you at Extra Mile Arena. If you're not able to make the game, we'll see you at 1 p.m. with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. But as I said, plenty of coverage to get to before then. Our next live broadcast, unless something breaks, will be 9 a.m. tomorrow with Jay Tuss, the sports director at KTVB. So thank you guys. Sincerely appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. And again, go check out our website, bronconationnews.com. Subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deals, that promo code. We're giving you $20 off your first year. And that gets you all kinds of exclusive content, Mike Prater, myself, as well as enters you in those contests. So we would love for you to do that. But if you're unable to afford it, we understand. At least give us a like on social media and our various channels and help us out with that. So have a great rest of your day, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.